Question A, maximum mark 16. So it talks about healthy body temperature. 8 people were recorded. So it says draw a scatter diagram for a difference. So this question is going to involve use of a GDC. It's also going to involve using a ruler and a pencil. I'll take you through the mark scheme. I'll show you the diagrams. I'll take you through the mark scheme. In the next video will then show you the buttons and the things you need to press in order to get information out. So, draw a scatter diagram, that's coming up. B, write down for this set of data the mean temperature difference from 37 degrees. C, write down this data set mean heartbeats per minute. Plot and label point M, X bar, Y bar on the scatter diagram. Use your GDC calculator to find Pearson's product moment correlation coefficients. So those questions are all GDC apart from D. Hence, describe the correlation. G, use your graphic display calculator to find the regression line, draw the regression line, etc., etc. So this bit's going to focus on the mark scheme for the accuracy. Okay, so let's go with when we're plotting, there you go. On graph paper, it says draw. We should be using graph paper. It says, when you read the question again, so it says, use a scale of 1 centimeter for 2 heartbeats per minute on the vertical axis, starting with 60 beats per minute. Use a scale of 2 centimeters from 0.1 degrees on the horizontal axis. So, we're horizontal axis going from negative 0.3 all the way to 0.5. We have label X and a title of temperature difference 37 degrees. Labeled Y, heartbeat, and we've got the continuous scale going up in 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 0. Yeah. And then we plot the point. So where do we get the mark? So we get an A1 for correct scales, axis labels, minimum X negative 0.3, and minimum Y equals to 60. Okay, so you get an A1 for the labels, those things that I've just pointed out. You should be putting your y-axis at 0 on the x, okay? So because of the functions, the y-axis is defined as x equals 0. You get an A3 for all points correctly plotted, and you're going to be, whether you use a cross, I always go this, you get plus or minus half a square. If you are out, if you're out of tolerance, you get A2 for 6 or 7 points, or A1 for 4 or 5 points correctly plotted. If graph paper is not being used, the most you can get is A1, A0, 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 and if accuracy cannot be determined, you get A0, 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 A0. So you must put your labels, you must use a ruler, and you get those points. That's your 4 marks. Let's go back to, so we typed all of this into our GDC now. We should find that for question B, X bar gives us a value of 0.025. C, Y bar is 74. Both of those are A1, A1s. D, we'll come back to in a second because we'll answer that as part of the question, but we're going to be using those 2 values. You can get continuation error if you include those values. Use your GDC to work out Pearson's product moment correlation coefficient. So we're on question E. That gives us a value of R equals 0.806797, which is approximately 0.807. It's going to give you a G2. Hence, describe the correlation between temperature difference and heartbeats. And because we have an R, so R is greater than 0.5, we're going to go with moderate or strong positive correlation. Okay, so we're looking for moderate to strong. Remember, we're supposed to square R to get a coefficient determination to actually define the strength, but we should be okay with moderately strong or strong. Okay. G, use your graphic display calculator to find the regression line. So typing that in, you've got your data. Y equals 21.9819, 21.9819 x plus 73.450, blah, 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 and then rounded to the appropriate level of accuracy, we've got 22.0x plus 73.5. Right, so then it says, draw the regression line on the scatter diagram. So those are your values. This is an A1 for moderate, A1 for positive, and then you get an A1 for the 22.0, a G1, sorry, and a G1 for this value. Now we need to plot them on our diagram. So same diagram as before, obviously, because that's where you're plotting it. I'm now looking for M. Okay, M here, going back to question D. So the point M labeled, correctly plotted on the diagram, is an A1, A1. And what do we know about the line of regression? Well, we know its equation is 22.0x plus 73.5. So we know the y-axis intercept, which if you look, we've got this point here, which is approximately 73.5. It must pass through M, which is labeled, and it must be a straight line. So it must pass through here and here, which it does. Those are give us our, is it 2 marks? A1 for a straight line using a ruler intercepting their mean point, and A1 for intercepting the y-axis at their 73.5, and the gradient of the line is positive. So that will give you an A1 for that definition. Now we'll go, if you're not sure about the calculator, presses there in the next video.